Okay, so counting macros is pretty easy if we're eating simple foods like just a chicken breast or some broccoli. All we got to do is weigh that. But if we want to make a more complicated recipe and for something that we actually want to eat, then we have to do a little bit more work to count our macros. So I'm going to show you the recipe for my paleo meatloaf. It's really good, feels like a cheat meal, but it's not because it uses clean ingredients and no added sugar, and it fits my macros. But I'm going to have to do a little bit of calculation and math in order to keep track of all my macros for the day. So I start by gathering all my ingredients, and then I'm going to use either the nutrition labels. For instance, this is tomato sauce, it has a label on it, or I'm going to use my Behind the Whiteboard app for stuff like vegetables, eggs, and the ground turkey, because that doesn't have a nutrition label on it. So all I got to do is make a list, and then I'm going to start writing out all the macros. So I look up turkey in Beyond the Whiteboard, and I found out the macros for that. I'm going to use 2 pounds, so that gives me, for the entire recipe, to make a pan, these macros: 105 of fat, 0 carbs, and then 245 of protein. I'm going to use almond flour, so I use the nutrition label on the back of that, and that's going to give me, for this amount, 28, 12, and 12, and so on and so forth. I go down the line and tally up all my ingredients. Then what I end up with is this. So I add up each component of the macros into the total, and this is going to be for the pan, that's why it sounds so high. And then I just use that to divide it into whatever number of servings that I'm making to get the macros for each one. Then when I'm done, I'm just going to make a label, put this on my Tupperware, and stack those up, put them in my lunchbox, and take to work. Then I can easily just add that by creating the food in Beyond the Whiteboard, and then I can save it so that it's there for next time. So next time I make this recipe, I don't have to do all this over again. I can just keep this sheet of ingredients, and then I'll know exactly how much macros are in my prepped food.